let's transition to the other side of the coin. What do the Lions need to do, or what should they do during this draft? 3 things again. Eric, start us off.
Okay, I'm going to go with kind of the inverse of what you said in terms of not staying at 6. To me, the do for that is speaking to their identity. So the do, stay the villain. Stay aggressive in this draft. Don't stay stagnant with what you have. I couldn't agree with you more. Again, sitting at 6 is the nightmare. Be aggressive and go up to 3. The villain don't sit and stand pat and just wait. They make chaos happen. And this NFL draft has chaos written all over it. From the start. Be a part of all that. Whether it happens or not. I want to hear at the very least in that presser after, hey, we tried to get up to 3. We tried to move up to make this happen. I want to hear that. If I don't, I'm going to be very upset. Stay aggressive. Stay the villain. Make some big moves in the splash.
I love it.
It has to happen.
Because that's right in line with my first
do.
Do everything you can, including the sale of firstborns if necessary, to get Will Anderson. I don't care what it takes. Sign any type of blood oath pact you need to sign. You make it happen. Listen, I'm even okay overpaying 6 and 18 to go up and get him. I don't think they will have to, but do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes to get 31 from the Crimson Tide wearing 31. Well, it can't because it's Kirby Joseph. 13 in the Honolulu.
We'll work something out for him. We'll get him a number that works.
Okay? We'll give him Okuda's number instead of J-Mo.
Oh, man. That would be a nightmare. Oh, J-Mo.
They were former teammates. They probably would be cool with
you want to see J-Mo really be a diva? Give somebody else that number 1. That's going to be the way.
Yeah, right. I know. But yeah, no. And listen, I have said consistently over the last however many weeks, this is the best player in the draft. If this is the best player in the draft and you are the villain, whatever that means, because apparently nobody knows what it means outside of the building, but we make sweatshirts for it and they go viral, do whatever you can to get him on your team.
Brad Holmes seems like a nice guy. He's done all the things that give the nice guy persona. The 27th is where you become that villain. It has to be there.
But you know what? He does seem like the nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems like the conniving, always working the angle. I'm your best friend until I need to push you off a cliff kind of nice guy. Which I'm okay with. Like, give me that ruthlessness in a GM. I'm okay with that. I got no problem with it. All right, Eric, number 2.
Number 2 for me is a guy that we've talked about all offseason. It's a guy that has been in the headline of all conversations for the draft. Let me phrase it correctly, sorry. Make sure you grab Jalen Carter if he's available. I know there's been a whole lot of worry about...
I thought you were going somewhere else.
No.
Like, are we in the same mind?
No, I'm with this.
Okay.
I know it's a lot of worry about Jameson Williams. I know it's a lot of worry about character issues with Jalen Carter. Again, I believe the issues that we see let's stick to both of them just for the sake of conversation. I think the issues with both of them, those issues, those concerns, I think they're correctable, especially if winning comes along with it. I think you're going to see those guys grow and mature as people and players, and Jalen Carter has too much value at a position that you need to hit on in this draft to pass him up just because of character issues, especially if you're going to reach in a position like cornerback or even quarterback for you, which you wouldn't like. If you're going to pass him up for one of those positions, I'm going to have an absolute fit. Take Jalen Carter if he's there. Do not let him get to Chicago, please.
Do you remember what I texted you when the news of J-Mo broke?
I do remember, yeah.
I said, if you're going to give J-Mo a pass, then you can't say that Jalen Carter has character issues and that you wouldn't draft him.
And I feel like I'll be consistent with them both,
I agree with that. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Like, I think you're going to be mad on Thursday night.
Like, you think they're going to pass on him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just, like, I tend to be a gut guy when it comes to these kind of things. And that's why I'm already, like, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually preparing for Witherspoon to be drafted at 6. Because I just got that gut feeling. But I think Carter will be there when they choose.
But see, that's where I don't know if I'm at that.
And the only way he won't be is if the Seahawks take him out.
That's okay. Boom. That's exactly where I'm at, because I feel like if he's not going to get there by disappointment, it's going to be because of Seattle taking him. I don't think he's going to like he said he has already had an agreement with someone in his interview that he'd be in the top 10 or however high he thinks he's going to go. I don't think he's falling that
He
fast.
stopped taking interviews with teams outside the top 10 because he thought he was going to be drafted within the top 10.
And I'm hoping it doesn't slip past his way. If it gets Seattle, we don't get him, I'll be hurt, but it'll be fine, because at that point you ain't got a choice. If he gets there and you pass on him, I'll be livid. I'll be absolutely livid. That's how you be a villain. That's how you be a villain. Take the guy that nobody else wants and you make it work and say, ha, we made it happen. Take him.
Yeah, I know, but I think we're misconstruing what they actually believe villain to be.
You
we
might
think
be right.
Villain, and we think bank robber with the black mask on, walking out with the money bag, right? That's what we think of villain. I don't think that's what that means for them. I don't. I really, because listen, you can't talk about culture and you can't talk about like the character of the players that you draft and be like, we're villains. Because if that's the case, you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth.
To an extent, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't be like, we're villains. He has character issues. Like, villains have character issues.
Exactly.
So that's where I'm like, we have no idea what that means. It's a sweet sweatshirt, and it looked awesome at the combine. I get it. Everybody has kind of taken it and run with it, but they're all sitting in that building going, these people are morons.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, that is not what this, like, they probably chose the wrong word.
It's very possible, yes.
You know what I mean?
Because they can be a villain one of two ways at this point. It's either by drafting a villain or being a villain to your own fan base and taking somebody that we don't want at 6. Don't be that villain, Brad. We're going to see what kind of villain you talking about. Stick with Detroit versus everybody. Take Jalen Carter. Mold him into the star that we think he can be.
Okay, so I have a number 2, and we're going to get to it, but I want to talk about the live draft show because there's all this excitement around the draft, and we have this huge show coming up on Thursday, Eric. It's going to be a treat for everybody. Talk to them about
everybody. Listen, join us for our exclusive 2023 NFL Draft Live show where your favorite analysts, AJ, yours truly, and Dylan will be breaking down each first round pick as it happens, live and on the spot. We'll be reacting to all the drama, all the surprises, the jaw-dropping moments and craziness of the NFL draft coming up on Thursday.
Because there's going to be a ton of jaw-dropping moments and drama and chaos, but we want you to be a part of that action too. So share your thoughts on the chaos, on the drama, react to it, and give us predictions live in the comments so that we can interact with you throughout the entire show. Don't miss a chance to engage with all the other Lions fans and your favorite Detroit sports host and Dylan from TikTok as well. The Lions have some things they need to do.
They do.
We've already talked about your 2. You got another one sitting in the barrel ready to go. Here's my number 2.
Yep.
Do everything you can to trade DeAndre Swift.
Okay, talk about it.
Which goes to your aggressiveness, which also goes to my do everything you can to not pick at 6. Do what you can to move Swift. Because then you create that, and I know you don't want to reach for a running back. You talked about that in the earlier segment. But if Swift is no longer on the roster, now you're free and the field is wide open. And you pair Montgomery, your RB1, with a home run hitter like Devin Achaney from Texas A&M. That's not bad.
I can rock with that. And at that point, I mean,
you want him out anyway.
At that point, I'd be like you just said, I'd be okay with Bijan or whatever they do at that point because he's gone and you're opening up that opportunity, and then the dynamics is even better. Hopefully, they can stay more healthy than Swift did, but at this point, I feel like his time with the Lions is kind of sitting on life support at this point. Yeah, I can see him definitely being a trade piece at the draft for sure.
If he's not traded at the draft, he will for sure be moved by the deadline. just like Hawkinson was.
I can definitely see that. I'm with you on that.
No doubt about that.
That's a good one.
No doubt about that. What do you got for number 3?
Number 3 is extremely important to me, and I've been arguing with people on social media about this since last week, really. Find a starting caliber wide receiver and or tight end.
We are in the same brain.
I love it. Yes.
Number 3 for me was shore up wide receiver.
High five. Give me some. Let's go. I love it. You need to.
However, yes, but again, I'm going to go back to what I said last night. You don't do it before pick 55.
Right, yes, you have your comfort of where you want it done, and I totally understand that. However, it is a need. Last season, this has been the argument they were top 5 without J-Mo before he even stepped on the field. Yeah, you also started off 1-6 around that time, and he wasn't
a lot of pad.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of great games by God. He wasn't great in all those games. And at this point now, the expectations have risen. Last season, I just talked about this on the live. All we wanted to see from the Lions last season was see, can you compete? Can you survive the season? Can you put up watchable games, not make dumb mistakes, and grow as a young team? You accelerated all of that by the second half of the year. So at this point now, you got to elevate that roster. You can't come back in with Khalif Raymond and Tom Kennedy as your number 3. You just can't. I'm not trying to see that. Not even as a number 4, to be honest with you. So at this point, they got to find, to me, a starting caliber wide receiver and a tight end. I said this on the last 2. It seems like the Lions don't value tight ends. And Dan Campbell is a former tight end. I don't get that. Find a comfort security blanket for Jared Goff. Find a couple more weapons to make sure this offense can compete in the NFC and take over that division.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think wide receiver is more important than tight end, though.
Yeah, we agree there for sure.
For this team. Like, not philosophically, I just think right now for the Lions, wide receiver is more important than tight end. And the reason why is the way that they utilize their tight ends, you don't need a Travis Kelce. Mm-hmm. You don't need a Mark Andrews. You need somebody who is proficient in run blocking and can catch a ball over the middle, 5-7 yards down the field. That's what we need from our tight ends right now. They need to be a safety valve at a certain point. And so I think wide receiver, I'm looking at kind of like mid rounds, Jaden Reed, Jalen Hyatt, Cedric Tillman, kind of around that pick 55, pick 81 might not be bad. Michael Wilson from Stanford, Marvin Mims, who ended up in our mock draft last night. All those guys I think are viable options. If you wanted to go with like a Nathaniel Dell from Houston, who's 5'8", I don't love it. We talked about this, right? I want one of those bigger body wide receivers.
Yes. If
you're going to shore up. I don't want another Khalif Raymond running around. I don't want anything like that because it's just not – I don't know. You can only have so many like 5'9" and under guys running around the field before they get covered up.
And it seems like it's a lot of them in the draft, too. Like, it's not a lot of 6'3", 6'2", 6'4 guys. Like, you got to be Megatron, but yeah, 5'8", 5'9", all that. I can't rock with that. And then on top of it, too, that's kind of where my emphasis is on tight end. So last season, we got away with the creativity of Ben Johnson to where you didn't have to use like the physical skill set of a tight end or a receiver to just outmatch somebody. You were able to out-scheme them, which is cool. But I feel like having a big body gives you the ability to scheme different. So I would like to see them find somebody that could be a little bit more consistent, whether it's Dwayne Allen or whoever else, late. It doesn't have to be early. It doesn't have to be the top 2 rounds. You don't have to do that. Late, get somebody that's reliable, that makes sense, athletic, that can be a run blocker as well. I want a good two-way guy. Find that. The Lions need that for this offense.
I'm with you. Those are our dues. What do you think the Lions need to do in this draft? Listen, we've said do everything you can to stay aggressive and get Will Anderson. Make sure that you don't pass on Jalen Carter, Eric said. Make sure that you find a way to trade DeAndre Swift was one of mine, and then we both agree. Shore up the tight end or the wide receiver position. But we want to know what your thoughts are. If you could give 3 things for Brett, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this in this draft, what would those 3 things be? Drop those in the comments. Make sure you like this video, share this video so we can continue to build this Detroit sports community. We will see you live Thursday night for our first round draft show. It's going to be epic. You are not going to want to miss it. He's Eric. I'm AJ. This is your favorite show, Beyond the Box. We will see you Thursday for the first round of the NFL Draft.